Welcome to a quick live reaction recap of a very exciting Illinois victory over Kansas Jayhawks, ruining Bill Self's return to Champaign and forcing Hunter Dickinson to retire winless against the Illini. I have my partner Austin Berkland with me. Austin, what do you think of the game?
Well, I mean, we don't know if he's going to be winless because Illinois very well may face Kansas in the NCAA tournament at some point. So I am holding off until that final buzzer sounds against Illinois, Kansas in the Sweet 16, Elite 8, or whenever that game might take place. But you got to be everything optimistic about this Illini basketball team with how they played. I mean, four guys in double figures, and Coleman Hawkins had 14, Marcus Domask had 11, Quincy Guerriere had 13, and Terrance Shannon Jr. had 28 points in this game. And it really felt like those four guys are just built in a way that can play a role and be the star of the show when needed to be. So I'm very excited about this Illini basketball team. My goodness.
I mean, I've been kind of alluding to this every time we talk about our basketball team. Like the key, and you kind of saw it on the court today. The key to this team, the theme you can say, is maturity. At the end of the game, all we had on the floor were fourth year guys and fifth year guys, and I think that's done on purpose. Brad trusts them. Yeah, it's an exhibition game, but you couldn't tell on the court. These guys were playing. I wasn't sure if we were going to do a live reaction, thinking maybe they'd go at it for the first half, and then the second half they'd kind of let the backups play, and the game wouldn't have mattered so much. But no, these guys kept going, back and forth, back and forth, and Terrance had the game of his life. But I really liked what Quincy Guerrier brought to the court today. He started in place of Goody, right? Or was it Damask? I forget which one he replaced. But he brought this game. This team showed a lot more physicality, athleticism, which is what it's going to take to play against the big dogs this season. And again, I know it's a charity game, but I was really happy with what I saw today.
I mean, I was watching that game and I was thinking, all right, I just want to see what athleticism Illinois has against a quote unquote number one in the country. Don't know how that'll end, but Illinois looked to be able to compete with any team in the country. I know we had our non-conference preview this past week, and I seriously don't know if there's a team in that schedule that Illinois has that they can't physically and athletically compete with. They were step for step with Kansas, and the physicality that Illinois presented against Kansas was right up there with them as well. So I I just was looking for some negatives and I couldn't really find one for this team going up in a game like this. And like you said, I didn't know if it was going to be a NFL preseason type game, but these guys battled like it was for their ego on the line because I think they were tired of the talk about like Illinois versus Arkansas, what happened in last year's NCAA tournament. And there's some guys that kind of want to step up and show Brad Underwood that, hey, if I play these minutes, I'm going to give you great minutes. So give me more minutes. So it felt like they were competing against each other and in the best possible way, by the way. And they were competing against Kansas.
And it's not like they weren't dealing with adversity. Obviously they're playing the number one team in the country. We had a decent halftime lead, but then Kansas opened the second half with an 8-0 run. And normally, last year with the younger guys on the court, like you kind of wonder, okay, here comes the pressure. Here comes everyone's holding their breath. What are they going to do? What happens? The Illini respond with their own 8-0 run. And, stuff like that, it's going to matter, down the road. Again, I keep saying this. I understand it's just an exhibition game, but that was a real game atmosphere in the State Farm Center today. And that's the type of game where, you and I were talking about in the last episode about how we were unsure how they would react to Marquette, because Marquette, that energy is going to be insane, and they have not been together all that often. So they may not be able to match that. But actually, they may have just gotten a glimpse of that today. And so all of a
Yeah, I mean,
sudden now, I'm a little bit more confident in the type of team that we're going to have on the court against Marquette. And I just think all in all, the victory was huge for us and just for the confidence moving forward. And I'm not going to get too excited because I don't want to repeat of how excited you and I were when it came to our football team and what the ultimate results were. But all I can say is, we looked like a very good team today. We competed and eventually beat the number one team in the country. And it's not like it looked like a fluky win either. We were right there toe to toe with them the entire 40 minutes. And I'm really looking forward to more so how we compete with the brutal schedule that we do have coming up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get into that many of the details because it is an exhibition game. I know there were probably some lineups that were just kind of thrown in there just so Brad Underwood could see what it looks like and say that he did it. But you got to think of some of the overarching themes of this team. And one of them was the rebounding. I mean, 39 rebounds for Illinois tonight. And it wasn't just all from Coleman Hawkins. I mean, he wasn't even the team leader in rebounds. Quincy Guerrier had 9 rebounds throughout the night. Marcus Domask had 5. Justin Harmon had 6 rebounds. I mean, whenever you get guards involved in rebounding, and that proves that people are bought in, at least through the offseason, of what Brad Underwood is preaching, that if you are the most physical team, those second chance options will come, and then you can get some of your scoring done through your second chance opportunities. So I think this team is kind of bought into Brad Underwood and what Coleman Hawkins and Terrance Shannon are buying. But again, only one exhibition game will need more of a sample size. But I kind of like what the mentality they brought in from this off season into this exhibition.
11 for 27 from 3-point land, and we outscored Kansas 50-22 in the paint. And again, Kansas, they're no slouches. Again, best team in the country. So, all in all, it's a late Sunday night matchup in the State Farm Center, and the game was for charity. And from according to what they said on the broadcast, they raised $1 million, which is fantastic. For the proceeds and where it's going. But all in all, it's a nice way. There was no game for us this weekend on the football side, so it's nice to watch some Illinois athletics. It's nice to come away with the win, and hopefully we'll be able to repeat in basketball. I think when's our first game? November 6th or something like that.
November
Yeah, Easter.
4th, I believe.
Okay, I'm seeing November 6th. We tip
Okay,
off against
November 6th,
Eastern
yes.
Illinois. Yeah, Eastern Illinois at 7 p.m. And Austin, if you got anything else?
Let's give after each basketball game, let's give a grade
Sure.
that we have on the podcast. Let's start this tradition right now. What was your grade for Illinois in this win against Kansas, 82-75?
I'll say A. The only thing missing
Yeah.
from the A plus was I don't know what it is with Brad Underwood teams and our Illinois teams over the last 5-6 years. Is I think we were only 21-32 from free throw shooting, and it's just I
Yeah.
don't know I don't know why we can't just solve that riddle. Everything else again, a 7-point victory over the number one team in the country. The mature guys, they played exactly like we expect them to play, like we want them to play. And that team that we saw on the court today, I think can beat anybody in the country. And they kind of proved it today.
Yeah, I'm giving it an A. If you win the rebounding battle against teams in the Big Ten and in the actually in all college basketball, let me simplify it even further down. If you win the rebounding battle, you're probably going to win the game unless the other team is just an unbelievable having an unbelievable shooting experience. But this Illinois team, they feel like a team that is bought in, and that's kind of all that I'm asking for this season is that all individuals are are there for the sum of the parts, and I think they are. So I'm giving it an A. The only thing keeping it from an A plus is a little bit of a turnover happy, but again, that's early on in the season. Those things will happen. But gotta be excited about Illinois basketball, and I think the sky is the limit for this team on this particular night and in the future. So really excited.
As am I. Let's, it's nice to end the weekend on a good note. And we've got a couple exciting episodes for you guys this week. We're going to do a full on season preview of the basketball team. We'll release that episode this week. As well, we'll preview the Minnesota game, and we have a surprise interview. Hopefully, we can make happen, and we'll drop later on this week as well. So it's going to be a fun, content-filled week for Illinicast.
Absolutely. Can't wait. Sonny, hopefully beat Minnesota in football, and then we'll have some great Illinois hoops content this week as well.
And, I'll see you soon enough.
Absolutely.